你要放哪里？OK。没架子，他买了没？今天没架，我只是没到。今天去手工了。是什么？买清的。
Yeah, I'll let you know in about 2 minutes.
Alright, very good evening to you all, and welcome to BitTemple, our very own temple over here. I'm pretty sure you guys are enjoying yourself viewing around the office. Meanwhile, please kindly take your seats at the seats in front of you here. Please try to sit in the front first, as our program will be starting momentarily. As for our project, please get your representative to sit at the front row as well, because we'll be starting at about 7:30 sharp. You guys need to use the washroom that will be on my left side where the exit sign is. Otherwise, you can go upstairs or downstairs. Alright, grab your seat right now before it rounds out. Hello again, lovely people over here. I would like to invite you guys once again to take your seats as we'll be starting in just 2 minutes time. I understand you guys are busy exchanging name cards and talking to each other. Don't worry, we have a networking session after the end of the pitch day. So as of now, I would like to invite all of you guys, beautiful, lovely people after the end of the work day, to come to the front and take your seat. And don't be shy, don't go all the way from back. I know the sofa is very comfortable, but please come to the front so that you can see the PowerPoint slides clearly and listen to our presenters later. So, yes. I'll come back again in about 1 minute time if you guys don't take your seats. And we will be starting at 7:30 sharp. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to ask you one last time to come to the front and grab your seat. We have a dedicated networking session at the end of this event, so don't worry if you didn't get anyone's name card or anything, and you can get it later on during the networking session. We still have plenty of seats in front over here, so don't feel shy. Come to the front and grab the seat. I'm very tempted to ask these young men over here, why are you guys standing at the back? All right. Okay, so now I've come to the back of the row, and I'm trying to chase all of you guys to the front and grab your seat. So, yeah, let me ask, why are you guys standing? Alright, don't be shy. Don't be shy, don't be shy. Just go to the front. We won't take photo of you. Alright, so while we're waiting for people to settle down, just a gentle reminder for the benefit of everyone over here, for the presenter and for the audience, please kindly switch your mobile phones to silent mode. We don't want to hear your phones ringing during the presentation. Alright, thank you so much for your cooperation. If you guys insist standing at the back, we will start our program proper. Alright, so very good evening to you all. My name is Joy and I will be your MC for tonight. Can anyone tell me what's the event today? What are you guys doing here? Pitching, right? Alright, so over here you're sitting right now, as you can see at the logo over here, it's a BitTemple. So BitTemple, in case you guys haven't heard about it, it's time for you to take out your phone and start Googling. Alright, I see a few phones coming out. So just let you know that since we launched in May and our first event in June, the pitch day is not just a one-off event. It's actually a monthly event that we dedicate for the blockchain community in Singapore and Southeast Asia, and actually for the global community, because we have some global friends, international friends with us today. And for today's event, we'll be bringing to you 9 different projects. Alright, so before that, just a little bit of introduction about BitTemple. So if it's the first time you hear about BitTemple, in short, BitTemple is a blockchain incubator. So what it does is just an incubator exclusively for high quality blockchain projects. Over here, we connect the international resources with promising blockchain projects and bring together a blockchain talent pool like all of you guys over here. So at our Blockchain Incubation Center, we build a service ecosystem that's so comprehensive, you could practically find anything here, such as legal counsel services, feasibility study, investment and fundraising, media and public relations, exchange listing support, trading advisor and liquidity provision, and community curation. Well, that's quite a mouthful. So that goes to say about the variety of services we provide over here. So if you didn't catch any of the services right now, no worries. You can engage, you can network with us, you can talk to us, because this is practically our office over here. You can talk to us about the services we provide later on. Alright, so on behalf of the organizer, we would also like to thank all our co-hosts and partners for supporting today's event and for making it possible. So our co-hosts for this event is Neview, Tuple Technologies, and BlockAsia. And for the partners, we have H.Capital, CoinTime, Genesis, H.Capital, Bibox, OEX, BlockAsia Capital, Yincubator, Empower Capital, B+, Telemi, EduPoint, Spartan, Blockchain Projects, Merkle Tree Ventures, 18 Districts, Shibatu, Chain Tech Partners. Well, that's quite a lot of over there. So all you have to do, you can just take a picture of this slide over here and go network with them later on, because they might be the investor for your next project. Alright, so that's enough of me talking at the moment. To start our evening proper, I would like to invite our director of BitTemple, a very beautiful and charming lady, Ms. Zhang Dada, to give an opening address. Dada, please.
Thank you so much. Hi everyone, I'm Dada from BitTemple. May I ask a question? Who is the first up to BitTemple tonight? Can you raise your hand? Warmly welcome to BitTemple. Oh, there is a children here. Oh, you are the youngest audience tonight. Okay, BitTemple, as our host introduced, it's a blockchain incubator. invest by Huobi and H.Capital. Our first hub is in Singapore, and next we will go to Ho Chi Minh City and Silicon Valley, Seoul, and Hong Kong by the end of this year. So we provide one-stop service to all blockchain projects globally. We connect you to global markets, and we also have our own fund to invest in project. So if you want to get more knowledge about BitTemple, please find me and also Miko from BitTemple. This is the BitTemple Pitch Day. We host it monthly, and this time we collaborate with BlockAsia, which is our member here. So if you want to do some PR locally or in Southeast Asia, please find BlockAsia. So thank you everyone here, and hope you enjoy tonight. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dada. Alright, that's quite informative for BitTemple. So moving on next, we will be having a very important session today because you guys are lucky to witness our signing of the MOU between BlockAsia and BitTemple today. Alright, so BlockAsia is somewhat like Bloomberg. You guys know what's Bloomberg, right?
Yes.
Yes, so it's like Bloomberg of blockchain in Southeast Asia. So it's the biggest portal, the one-stop portal for news, media, and PR for blockchain and cryptocurrency information in the region. We also have offices in Shanghai, Korea, and Germany. I understand we have some friends from Germany. We have some friends from Germany and Korea today. So if you need an office, need someone to contact, we have an office over there. So without further ado, please join me in welcoming Ken, the Managing Director of BlockAsia, on stage. And also I would like to invite back Zhang Dada, the Director of BitTemple, on stage for the signing of the MOU. Alright, we'll bring on this beautiful, lovely book that says Sign Book. Basically, it's the memorandum of understanding to form a strategic partnership between these two companies, BlockAsia and BitTemple. So BlockAsia will be providing. Sorry for that. Okay. Alright, so BlockAsia will be providing to BitTemple's member the global outreach, and together they will empower and enhance the blockchain ecosystem in Asia. Alright, congratulations guys, and all the best for your future cooperation. Okay, so that's probably the beginning of all the signing and talking, etc. While we're trying to get the technical stuff to work. Okay, now my mic is not working. So this is the problem with technology we're facing every day. The more technology we have, the more problem we have. So I hope that I'm talking loud enough and you guys can hear me at the back. Alright. Okay, how's everyone feeling right now? Hope you guys are all pumped up. I just came from my 8-hour workday and I'm feeling like I'm dying. But then when I come to this office, I'm like, wow, that's so cool. You guys have such fun stuff because I myself is an engineer, but I don't do all this tech stuff. So when I first learned about blockchain in about March, I came across a guru who said something very zen to me. He said, everyone thinks they know something about blockchain, but nobody actually knows anything about blockchain. Even Satoshi Nakamoto himself. Well, I don't know how true that statement is, but what I found out is that every day as we go on, there's something new about blockchain coming out, a different coin. And yesterday I heard something about McDonald's launching their coin. So every day there's something new, there's something to learn, and which in a way it kind of say that we don't know anything at all. So every day is a new day for us to learn, and which is exactly why we're here and why BitTemple is doing this each day every month. We're here to learn and share with each other. And today we have 9 kind companies who are here on stage. They are willing to share with us what they have learned, share with us their experiences and lessons, and hopefully each one of you will get to bring home something that's valuable for you. So without further ado, I would like to invite our first company. So our first company is a platform that has centralized solution with decentralized ownership. That's quite mouthful. And as a mainstream, it claims to create this They have already created a cryptocurrency, a mainstream cryptocurrency that even your grandma could use. So let's hear from them what they are fond of. So without further ado, I'd like to invite the first company founder on stage to present to us.
Yeah, founder. Yeah, this is our website. Okay. So let's make it short. Only the main our target don't hear. So the main goal for us to make a new currency is even the grandma can use it. This is our goal. But it's a big topic. Everybody knows that it's very complicated. So it's part of our goal. And yeah, I try to talk a bit about the difference. What is the difference for us with many currencies? Firstly, we have a motto. Motto. So we have so many currencies in the market. We usually will be more currency come up. So blending will be a very important for the currency to grow. So luckily we have a very good motto, currency motto. We have a live a founder life. So the real meaning is can simply efficient result. That's very interesting to me. You can research about that. This is part is great things. And we will promote this currency in future. Okay. First, let's talk about the fundamental is our most of it. That's very special from that most of it. Next thing, we talk about the new blockchain, a new business model, decentralized ownership. So everyone talk about decentralized. So nowadays, for the internet world, all the resources in the world come to a few big companies in the world. And the problem is very big. You are changing money to win. So what we are going to do is create a new business model, which is non-profit. We are not. Our goal is not for making profit. It's make an adoption. More people use different currencies. So we have a list of projects. 1 million, 1.1 crore X borders. For the wallets, we are going to centralized wallets. So it's a so very good. We are not used to use this kind of so complicated. So we will promote a centralized wallet for normal people. They like this. talk about decentralization, we have to centralized world. That's it. For blockchain, after ICO, we will also launch our blockchain. It's our project. So, because it's going to probably very complicated. For ICO guarantee, this is very interesting part because before we are doing this ICO, we are putting a diamond in here. We are selling diamonds. We have a motorcycle founded diamond. So, offer the diamonds to be a how much money is spent by our coins. If the price goes down, you can come here to redeem diamonds and sell them. Real diamonds. Real. This is nice picture of many times. Talk about finding diamonds. Yeah. That's all. Maybe questions? Yeah, anybody have questions?
Right, thank you so much for your presentation. So, does any of you guys have any questions for our first presenter, founder? Okay, great.
So blockchain, we normally talk about decentralization, right? So the hackers could not like hack it up. If they hack in a centralized system, they'll just get the data. So why would he want to create a centralized wallet?
Centralized wallet for people is like if you look at it, what's cryptocurrency. Like many people don't like it, it's very complicated to use. So for small number of everybody, it's like if you put 1,000, 10,000, just pay money. Okay, it's very good for the hackers. Look at the current days, the bank. So many banks, hacker everything have. Do you think that this is a bigger problem? I mean, you look at the cryptocurrency world, there are so many people lost so much cryptocurrency money. Much higher percentage centralized system. So we are promoting this centralized wallet for many people. That's why it's
so we can access that later. Oh, that's going to be good.
Like in the web office. You look at so many banks.
That's a perfect video for my friends. I love that.
Okay, thank you, George. I'm very curious. This is a very good question, I feel like. So may I know your name and where are you from?
Here.
You're from?
You mean like city, country, or?
Are you a hacker yourself? Are you in blockchain?
No.
Oh no. So where did you learn about blockchain from?
Some courses.
Whoa, impressive. I forgot to ask how old are you? Wow. 12 years old, guys. 12 years old over here asking some serious question about blockchain. Time to accelerate your progress. Alright, so just a general reminder to all our participants over here. So 2 reminders. One is to be close to the mic because this is an open space, so we have people moving around and talking in the back. So make sure you speak close to the mic like how I do right now. And second reminder to all our participants, our presenter, is that over here there's a sticker that says stand here please. You know why? Because it's a beautiful light that shines your face and gives you a glowing look. So yeah, just 2 general reminders, and also a reminder to all our friends at the back of the room. When you guys are speaking to each other, try to maintain your volume so that you do not disturb all the audience and presenter in front. So without further ado, I would like to invite our second presenter for today. And our second presenter, as you can see over here, is AI Crypto. The name is pretty self-explanatory. So it's a combination of blockchain and AI technology. Honestly, myself, I would say I'm pretty skeptical when you say you combine two fancy technologies together. But I'm willing to listen to them to see what this is about. So without further ado, I would like to invite AI Crypto on stage.
Hello everyone. 大家好，皆さんこんにちは。여러분 안녕하세요. I'm the architect of AI Crypto. What is AI Crypto? It's a combination of AI and cryptocurrency. The reason why we started our project, we have a special experience and technology in AI industry. That's why we started our project. You just remember A, B, C, D, E, which is AI blockchain for decentralized economy. Okay? This is our technical summary. We have three different parts. First one is AI ecosystem. That is a basic transaction part of the GPU and dataset and models. It will be used at the ELC 20 and 721. And more advanced technology is AI deep learning. Under the distributed GPU environment, deep learning can be executed effectively, usually reduce the time of deep learning calculation. And the last one, and the most important thing, AI mining. To realize those AI deep learning, we already applied the large-scale GPU network with mining pools, including the Malaysia and probably the China, and then we can provide a higher return to existing miners. Okay, let's look at our ecosystem. AI ecosystem is very similar to our body. It's composed of organism, skeleton, and vessel. Organism is kind of workspace, and the skeleton is like a bone. It can provide a resource allocator and contribution rating system. And lastly, the vessel. Vessel is similar to the blood, so it's very important. It's the three parts: GPU and dataset and model. As you might know, the AI research and development requires core resources like data, GPU data, and model. And the crypto mining farm requires lots of GPU and electricity. For what? Anyone know? Only for useless calculation, like a basic calculation, basic function. So we considered, how can we transfer it to the more useful uses? The answer is AI. So we are going to set up our own platform, and on our platform there is a GPU network provider, and also the other side, the users of those resources like machine learning, deep learning researchers. And also there is lots of requests for the good quality of data and also the large quantity of data. And the other side also the data providers, and they can play over our platform. And if you want to use those resources, it should be as a form of model or algorithm, such as voice recognition, image recognition, or the autonomous vehicle. And I'm going to show you one of those models that we are doing now. You can check the suggestion.
可是，让我看看长谁。
Okay, anyone know the Chinese, right? Mostly no. This is a summary of our AI ecosystem, the GPU, data, and model. The provider and the consumers can play our ecosystem. We already have our MVP for AI ecosystem. You can check this in our AI crypto GitHub. And second one is AI deep learning. When you do that deep learning is kind of the bandwidth problem. That problem is like this. For deep learning, a large amount of data is required, as well as large capacity. So if you sense and process the data in a distributed environment, it is very inefficient. So we thought about it. How can we solve this problem? We found out the pre-processing methods. We are going to pre-process from the raw data using that numbers, and then it can be used for deep learning. And another one is distributed deep learning. A lot of AI companies require those requests, but it's requires a lot of money, so they cannot invest enough. So what are we going to do? We are going to insert our own AIC deep learning API between the Google TensorFlow and GPU with a lower price. And the last one, and the most important thing is AI mining. This is crypto mining, and it's going to be the combination of crypto and AI mining. We will use that GPU crypto mining for deep learning, and mining pool and miners can get a higher return from the AI mining and multi-mining. Are you familiar with the multi-mining? Probably not, because it is a new concept produced by created by ourselves. It is concept like this one. When there is no request from the AI mining, then they can mine for the cryptocurrency like the Bitcoin or the Ethereum. And when there is a request for the AI mining, then it can automatically switch to the AI mining with a higher return to the miners. And we already have a special technology for handling distributed GPU deep learning. And already is the large scale of mining pool implemented. If you look at the probability comparison, currently the AWGPS file is very expensive, and the return for the coin mining is very low. That's why we are going to use that difference. And we can also cooperate with the BitMain and XMine. I think you are familiar with that. But miners can be provided with deep learning mining hardware as well. And also, the BitMain subsidiary has a SOFON. They are the deep learning acceleration chip. They can also be activated. And lastly, the higher profit is guaranteed by providing AI miner, the distributed mining pool. And this one is another big picture because initially we will use the Ethereum ERC 20 and 721, but finally we will set our own mini map. It's going to be the new era of blockchain. This is our technology roadmap. For the AI ecosystem, we already have MVP. You can see us on the website GitHub. And also the AI deep learning and AI mining, the MVP will be done by next month. And there will be the pilot by the end of this year, and the beta test will be done by first half of next year, and then finally, AI ecosystem and deep learning, and then mainnet will be open by the end of next year. They will complete the media and ISO rating and the community. Our software is 3,000 and the market is 30,000. We are in the party sale now. For the exit strategy, we are determined to list our AIC by November 2018 in IDAX or the BitForex. Most of our team members graduated from top-tier university in Korea, and then AI specialists and finance specialists. We also have renowned advisors, including that Ismail Malik. We have many famous partners and potential investors, including the MoneyBrain and Visual Camp. And one of those, the big mining pools in Malaysia, they are currently doing 50,000 rigs, but they are trading the 500,000 rigs in the future. And we have two different kind of token economy. The first one is POV, proof of value for the AI ecosystem and the POC, the computing for AI miners. I'm going to show you the last video.
AI is no longer a future, it is rather a present, and it will revolutionize our world so much more than we can imagine. We fear for a future where AI rules the world, when in fact, we may be ruled by a few who possesses AI. So, we started to think that in order to stand against this giant monopoly, we should ally with AI startup companies and developers all over the world. Decentralized AI, AI crypto, a future where everyone can make a change.
This is our philosophy. Thank you.
Alright, okay. I have to take the mic. So now we're just opening the floor for the Q&A. So do we have any questions on the floor? Any particular question for AI crypto over here? No, okay. Oh, right. Okay, we have one at the back. So we would like to trouble you guys to pass the mic all the way to the back of the seat over here.
Hi there. I absolutely love it, by the way. It's such a good idea and a good use of processing power outside of just mining tokens. And just one question is, when you do the switch and things like that between, is there a latency between when you are looking for requests for processing power on your network and then flipping to currency mining across? How do you kind of deal with that stuff?
We are going to develop that special technology and the platforms on our own net, and we will do that those tests in our test nets, and then we'll automate on our main net.
Okay, and will you be able to support other types of processing? So, for instance, you mentioned there going into cryptocurrency mining, but is there a way to connect up other services to process transactions? So, for instance, if there's nothing pending in your from an AI processing perspective, yes, you could flip to a cryptocurrency, but could you flip to another blockchain solution to process some other kind of transaction, should we say? Does that make sense?
Initially, we wanted to do our own mainnet, but we thought about it from the perspective of existing miners, because they already invested for their mining pools, and so they need to get the return from their existing mining pool. So we combined this like a combination of compatible with the existing mining equipment as well. So it's a mixture of that.
Yeah. Okay, well look, congratulations. I think it's an excellent project. Really, really excited to see it go.
Okay, just a quick question. I think the project is pretty awesome. Just some feedback. So you are assuming all these blockchain protocols will be using proof of work, so which is where mining comes in. But I think so the trend has been shifting to proof delegated stake and proof of believability. There is no mining. Yes, there is infrastructure, but it's a very different kind of infrastructure. So how do you address to that problem? Because if you deliver this 2019, I think so you lost your business. There is no more mining anymore going on. Maybe the world. So how do you adapt to that kind of challenge? I mean, the project is awesome. It's just I'm trying to understand how do you support other blockchain protocols? Yeah, everybody is doing this. So how do you ensure as a hardware provider you try to solve this problem? So that's all.
Firstly, we are going to change that the blockchain trend from the POW to the POV and the POC. That is a unique concept and technology. And also, we already acquired the big mining pools, so we can get the return from that.
So business-wise, you're covered. Okay, fantastic.
Hi. So I think okay. As what I understand that we have created a marketplace. So for someone who have a computing resource to help you to do the mining, no, to do the AI training the AI model. So I'm concerned about how you can protect my AI model and how the miner there can protect my data as well when I give to him.
Before, we have more than 10 years experience in the AI industry, so we have some inscription technology as well. And then for those requirements, there is a verification process. And even though their mind is different from the existing concept, they do not get the rewards, just mining results. After they verified as a useful resources from that participant in our ecosystem, and then they can get the rewards. And we can we will set up those secure platforms for that to secure those data sets.
But the thing that if you are entitled the data and they are doing a mining, I think that they are spend more power, so it's more cost for them. So is this a more efficiency than centralized like Google they do? That's my question.
Because we don't want to use make our global networks from the globally distributed GPU network that can cause lower the price compared to that Google.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And it was a great presentation. It's a great discussion going on with you guys. Keep it there. Write down on a piece of paper the follow-up questions because we'll be having that working session later on and you can ask questions. Alright, so moving on, we'll be having the next presenter, the third presenter. We have D-Mark with us today. So we know that the fundamental of human economy, the modern capitalism, is exchange. So right now, as the blockchain develops, more and more people have this commodity called the crypto assets. So there comes a need to create a marketplace for all these people who possess the crypto assets. And this is where D-Mark is coming from. So based on the principle of free market trading, users are able to trade any type of crypto assets freely. So let's hear more about that from James D-Mark.
大家好，我的英语不是特别好，所以我用中文给大家介绍一下项目。我们的这个项目定位就是基于一个社区化的一个电商模式的 token 智能加密资产这么一个交易市场的一个定位。现在给大家介绍一下现在的，因为大家都是区块链行业的人，所以我就简单的说一下，因为现在基本上1000多个 token 在200多个交易所上面在交易。据我所知，应该在全球范围内，2018年应该有将近1000万级的用户在交易。在我们看来，这个 token 和基于加密资产的一些数字资产的一些市场，未来会变成一个分布式的一个市场。那基于ETH、POS 的 VM 会越来越多。未来的市场会变成一个大概我们认为会有100万级的这样一个数字资产的一个市场。那当前的交易所，大家看到都是基于security 的基于证券性质的 token 的交易，通过交易对的形式来实现。那在我们看来，这现在已有的一些主流的交易所，都是通过中心化的一些团队来进行审核。所有的 token 都必须经过，虽然有的是去中心化的一个交易所，但是仍然需要有一个 approve 的一个过程。那在这个过程中，就需要有很多的人的参与，而且是一些所谓的专家或者中心化的团队来做，导致了很高的运营的成本，然后项目的效率非常低。而且他们现在所有的这些交易所基本上支持的都是属于ERC-20的这种可交换的证券性可互换的这些 token。对一些不可互换的，像ERC-721的，其实支持的并不是特别好。还有就是在中心化和去中心化的模型上面，
有2类交易所，但是他们在这种用户资产的安全性和流通性上面，其实做到还是比较出色的，很难做到安全和流动性的一个很好的平衡。那我们这个项目主要是解决一个什么样的问题呢？就是在未来，如果真的有100万级的 token， 在很多分布式的全球化的这样一个分散化的市场或者社区里面来用，或者在不同的行业里面来用的话，大家会有很多的交易的需求。交易的需求，那我们现在这些主流的交易所实际上是并不能很好的支持的。那我们怎么才能解决这个问题？我们推出了这么一个 Bibox 一个电商模型的这样一个交易市场。我们的定位是说，所有的 token， 所有的加密资产都是可以在我们的市场里面自由交易的，只要是我们支持的这个区块链的协议，比如说172或者141或者更多的，那它可以自己自由的在上面发出自己的买单或者卖单，建立自己的商店。在我们上面，而且我们是完全的免费的交易，就像类似于淘宝这样的东西，也不需要审核。我们会有一个黑名单的机制，不像现在有人家有蓝名机制去审核过程中，我们是期望能够在某些个确定的区域里面能够，只要是合法，我们都可以接受。我们会有一个类似于淘宝商品这样一个后审核的机制。如果说这个商品本身出现了一些违法行为，我们会把它下架。但是默认的是我们是存在交易。我们会把我们交易所成为一个去中心化的、去分布式的一个模型。我们会让用户的资产，因为我们是自由交易，所以我们不能考虑到这个技术研发的这个程度，我们不可能去支持所有的这些钱包。那我们希望是把我们的用户资产，不光他们资产放在他们这儿，用他们的钱包去交易。然后我们会在上面做一个类似于中继或者是代理这样的一个结构，会邀请很多不同的节点来加入到我们去做一些撮合交易这样的一个东西。我们整个为了保持这个流动性，因为去中心化交易所加入一个流动性嘛，用户包括现在这些有这一些 DApp 的 token， 最大的问题就是大家怎么去保证一个流动性和交易、信息透明化和分享的。所以我们有一个基于 BU 这样一个用户机制的一个社区的模式。那我们会有一个我们会提供一个 BU 的一个平台，一个比较社区的一个平台。所有的 DApp 和 developer 或者 seller 可以在他们上面在我们的平台上面建立一个商店。那这个商店同时也会提供很多基于 topic 和 forum 的这样的一些平台化社区的功能，来保障用户进行充分的沟通一个确保这个交易的流动性。那我们现在这个架构正在设计中，在开发中。那我们主要几个核心的模块是，第一个是我们需要有一个建立基于社区的基于社区的商店的一个平台。那在上这个社区里面，很多这个 DApp 可以做一些海报，可以做一些 channel 推广。也可以做一些社区的活动，也会有一个在链上的一个撮合和链上不算的一个交易模型。还有就是我们会基于用户的数据，基于很多的参数，做一个用户的基于社区的一些交互信息，还有历史交易信息，还有一些基于其他的一些可信源的一些信息，来做一个资产的评估模型和分控模型。我们还是定位于在我们公司能够有一个使用场景，所以我们在比较browser，在这个browser上面可以运行这种合约，可以运行一个 DApp， 也有一个 wallet， 一个 code wallet 一个插件，就是作为让我们用户可以更方便的，不光是说可以讨论，可以买卖，还可以真正的去使用这个 token。我们在我们平台有一个平台头显示。这个平台的token主要用在这3个方面。第一个方面呢，是因为我们的平台交易是不收手续费或者上架不需要手续费的，所以但是我们的用户可能在买的时候需要看待一些资质的东西。那我们是在我们设计的一个机制，就是在卖家在卖的时候，他可以通过锁定他的一些平台币来提高他的信用度。第
第二个就是我们会提供一些类似于通品的推荐啊，然后广告服务啊，类似于电商平台里面的一些推广优惠券、代金券之类的这样的遇到。然后第三个是用户怎么去获取我们社区的贡献度，比如说他对一个商品的评价，或者是对这个某些个用户的帮助，或者他完成的一些我们说赏金的任务、积极的任务，都会这个方面。我们这里没有办，我们现在计划，我们产品已经在做了，可能在今年年底的时候会发布一个版本。我们这个产品实际上主要是面向英语市场，是一个国际化的一个版本。反正介绍一下，就是我本身是一个技术的一个开发人员，我主要是在之前是做智能手机的操作系统开发，也做过智能硬件和一些移动的 APP， 所以之前的经验全都是在系统开发上。我的合伙人是做市场的 marketing 和PR 和市场的 marketing 方面的经验比较丰富。
Alright, thank you. Thank you for your presentation. So that was DMUT. Do we have any questions for DMUT, provided that you guys kind of understand the presentation and the slides? If not, you can take the time to think about the questions you may have, and James will be here during the networking session, so you can talk to him later on if you have further questions. Alright, so moving on to the next project. The next company, well, we have Harry already and pumped up and standing right here. So the next one is from GSE Network. So what GSE Network does, simple, blockchain plus sharing economy. So without further ado, I would like to pass the mic on to Harry from GSE Network.
Okay, guys. Hi everyone, I'm Harry from GSE Network. Okay, so basically before I start, you all can actually click on repeat our hashtag. Okay, you will get a chance to win 1,000 USD tokens. Right? So next slide, please. Okay, guys. So basically, we are in the sharing economy space, and as you have known, over the past 2 years, the sharing economy space has been really booming. Right, so in the past 2-3 years, millions of investors have come into the crypto space, and basically most of these investments, right, goes into ride sharing, home sharing. But what these investments came in and showed that, so basically these investments came in and showed that the great potential of the sharing economy that you can really achieve. But what is actually stopping the sharing economy from achieving its potential? Right? Basically, we have highlighted 4 big obstacles over here. So basically, just imagine, right? In Singapore, recently we have gone through this ride-sharing monopolistic takeover, and you can tell that we really charge very high delivery fees. So basically, as a user, right, would you be want to subsidize yourself to get pay high delivery fees, or get your data to be kept by these centralized intermediaries, right? So basically, so basically there are 4 big problems you see here. This high delivery fees, plus that monopolistic landscape, and also lack of risk information, right? So the goal right here is one, alright, to actually build a centralized trust network for the sharing of blockchains. So how are we going to do this? we are going to do this by actually having a 3 pillar solution. So the first solution is to build a decentralized service layer. This decentralized service layer will act as a tech infrastructure that to help us to have the tools and features to unblock debts. Next, we are going to have an incentive model. So the incentive model will actually redistribute the externalities, positive externalities created by this ecosystem contributions to the sharing economy. And next, on top of that, we will actually build the trust network. So by actually onboarding users into the sharing economy, right, we actually get the data onboarded onto the blockchain, and with the data on blockchain, we are able to create a trust profile for every user, asset, and service, and this will enable us to create a trust network. Alright, so let me delve a little bit deeper into our technical architecture. Okay? So over our technical architecture, we have 3 layers, right? So the first layer is the GSC public chain layer. So over this layer, we have the nodes and our consensus algorithm, and our consensus algorithm will be the blockchain and BTOS or scalability. Right? And above that layer, we will have the decentralized service layer. Decentralized service layer will have tools and features, right? So we commit them later. So these tools and features will enable the next layer, which is the decentralized apps, right? So it will be something like a debt aggregator where you will open your app and then you have like sharing economy that's inside. So basically you can do bike sharing, home sharing, asset sharing, all through a single. So decentralized service layer, right? So we have 4 modules. These are the 4 main modules. So basically we have like pricing module, which is let me start with the top. So multi-dimensional user profile rating. This multi-dimensional profile rating is to actually build credibility for the asset provider and for the user who actually wants to use the shared asset. And also we have order dispatch module. Order dispatch module actually acts as a dynamic demand and supply matching. And we have the anti-fraud system. So the anti-fraud system is a deterrent for fake profiles and fake listing. And then we will have the pricing module. Pricing module acts as a dynamic pricing system to fix the price for the user and also the client. So let me illustrate this whole thing right from a user perspective. So before the user comes into play, we have a driver. Okay, a driver wants to participate in the platform. You will upload actually their so basically they upload their assets, through the asset management stack, right, onto the platform. And after they have uploaded their assets, by staking X amount of GSC tokens, and then the asset will be on the blockchain. So once the asset is on the blockchain, right, the user with our app will be able to see the asset, and if the user wants to use the service, the user will activate, right, and then the order dispatch will be located in place, and then will match the user and also the provider. And once they are matched, then we have the pricing module, and the pricing module, after that, the transaction will be complete with the transaction. So the transaction actually provides our credit evaluation and also deposit and for all the entire transaction, we actually incentivize both the supplier and also the user. Alright, so actually we have kicked off our incentive model, the second pillar of our incentive. So we kicked off by having a bit of project, we actually collaborated with our strategic investor group. We actually run this quite combined campaign in Singapore, and then we have launched in Japan. So we are actually doing this to that positive externality to the ecosystem, to the sharing economy. Yeah. So basically, why we are doing this actually is actually to grow the initial user adoption, and also to reward every valid transaction in the sharing economy space. Alright, so actually this right in mind is what we call as the revolutionary green mining concept. So we actually run this in our app. Alright, it's actually over these few months we actually grown about 400,000 holders to this package. And we have this will actually help us encourage user participation, fix a record of our tokens as well as the reward tokens. Okay, so this is some of what you can see
for campaigns that are done with Tuple. We also be doing more of these campaigns with our sharing economy partners that we are employing soon as well. Alright, so with the first three pillars, we move on to the final pillar, which is the trust network. Okay, so the trust network that we will be building on top of the blockchain. So basically, the trust network trust the user. From user perspective, the user will interact with the bank through a sharing app. Right? So after the user interacts with the provider, let's say for example, right? So after authorizing, the IoT device is part of the record the transaction. Alright? And also, once the interaction is recorded on the blockchain, through the IoT device, the blockchain will actually quantify and quantify the interaction process. And this transaction process will, of course, give the user a trust score or accredited to its trust profile. So let's look at the user perspective. Okay, so this concept is pretty good. So for a user that is new to this ecosystem, alright, so the user will start with maybe a low trust score. And then once he interacts with any asset that's recorded already on chain, right, with a higher trust score, for example, a trust score of 10, right, so after the interaction, you'll get a higher trust score. So this is how we actually get the trust score to the user. Because, of course, an entity which is less trusted interacts with an entity that is more trusted, will actually gain trust score. Okay? So from the asset identification perspective, okay, if Tuple, for example, upload a new byte onto the ecosystem, right? So you will have zero trust score. And if the user with a high trust score will have certain byte, you will actually trust score towards the byte. And the byte could have maybe get a hypothetical trust score of 10 through this process. So basically, this is how our trust framework is going to work. So for our project, okay, we identify three main phases. So the first phase, we are going to go to the incentive phase. We run a lot of trials in our incentive phase. Get a lot of user feedback, data analysis to see how we actually further streamline our incentive system. So and then this will go for chain and also IoT device integration. So our second phase is where we build a decentralized service platform, and is where we actually build more and we build more business partners to get them on board. And thirdly, once we have a significant pool of debts on board and we have a significant amount of users, this is where we'll start to onboard the trust network. We'll start to have every asset, user and services on the platform will have a trust profile, and this is where the ecosystem will start building that trust. Okay, so now on our token distribution. So for our token distribution, we'll be allocating the majority of our tokens for ecosystem building. So this is more focused on increasing user adoption. Yeah, so basically for our team, we come from diverse backgrounds in the sharing economy as well as tech industries. Yeah, so basically right now we have a few advisors. We are looking to have more advisors as well. One advisor is Neview, she is from MIT, as well as Prof. Zhang and Prof. Bro. They are both from renowned in the cloud computing space, and also they are both working. So right now, basically, for our strategic partners, we have two types. One is a traditional sharing economy players, as well as we also have crypto VCs as well. They lead us in the crypto space. So, thank you.
Thank you, Harry. So that's from GSE Network. Do we have any questions for GSE Network now, the audience? All right.
Thank you for your presentation. Seems like an interesting project. The question I wanted to raise is, what's your user acquisition plan? Of course, the project is interesting, but to get the user interaction is more important for the project. How are you going to do this?
Well, okay. So basically for user acquisition, right now we are actually looking for our BD plans, to look for more traditional sharing economy. To speak to them, to let them know that in the future will be actually blockchain based. Right? So things are moving towards a more decentralized front, and also
inconvenience is something that they have to fix. In the long run, users will know that blockchain will just high innovation, and that's why moving forward looking more towards having some traditional sharing communities on board. That's the first reason. Okay, and also a lot of crypto trading communities are, for example, etc. Yeah, we are also very interested in coming on board because right now in Asia we have a presence, and our strategic partners they have a presence as well right in Asia. So we are working a lot on these two reasons. Of course, right now a blockchain community is really young, and a lot of people do not understand it yet. So yeah, we don't understand. So
okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Will. Thank you so much for your presentation and question. All right, so in view of the time, we'll just give that one question the chance, and then later on, if you guys have more questions, you can still ask Harry over here. All right, thank you again, Harry. Thank you. Okay, coming. Wow. Okay. Thank you. All right, coming up next, we have a name over here. It's a company called Swipe. Let me begin with a question since I saw some of you guys are yawning at the back. How many of you guys are using Facebook over here? I'm giving out my Facebook account. I'm just kidding. No. How many of you guys are aware of the Facebook saga where you sold the customer data to someone? Right, right. All right, most of us are aware of that. And this company is one that built a blockchain infrastructure that targets the data monetization and privacy management. Before we invite upon our speaker, I would like to give a gentle reminder to all our friends at the back of the room who are very excited to meet new friends and network to try and keep your voice, your volume at a level where it doesn't affect our speakers. Alright, I would like to seek cooperation from all of you guys. Okay, thank you. So before we move on to invite our mysterious speaker and representative from Swipe, I would like to show you guys a video first.
In today's data marketplace, app developers monetize their data through centralized intermediaries that aggregates data from multiple sources. Unfortunately, data monetization models are non-transparent and at times unfair to app developers. Furthermore, data buyers are unable to audit the integrity and origins of the data, and users are not reported, and have little control over their privacy and data sharing policies. How can we give the power back to these stakeholders through a transparent and auditable system? Introducing Swipe, a decentralized mobile engagement data platform on the blockchain. Swipe empowers app developers to see in-app tools and a transparent and fair way to monetize data for a decentralized data marketplace. Swipe can be integrated seamlessly and helps app developers increase their app engagement and user retention. Take Swipe's Push, for example, a live stream delivery service that communicates its content to users. Once integrated, app developers and users can opt in to join the data monetization process in the Swipe network. All data collected will be aggregated, anonymized, and encrypted, and channeled into an analytics engine, which processes the data and packages. App developers are now able to monetize data directly to the data buyers in a transparent way. Users will have privacy control over the data and will be rewarded in the process. And data buyers can audit the data, giving them the confidence about its accuracy and origins. We are creating a better data marketplace that benefits everyone. Imagine thousands of apps connected to millions of users in one huge network, earning rewards together every time data is traded. Swipe, monetizing mobile engagement data on the blockchain.
Okay, thank you for the video from Swipe, monetizing mobile engagement data on the blockchain. Sounds like quite mouthful, but I'm pretty sure our presenter will make it easy to understand to all of you guys. So without further ado, I'd like to invite upon Adam from Swipe to present to us.
All right, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Adam. I'm the Chief Vision Officer of Swipe. But today itself, I want to share with you guys the vision of how we are going to give power of data back to you guys, the users. would like to introduce you guys to Yincubator. Is this mic? I'm going down. Okay. Okay. Of course, introducing our project Swipe. We want to monetize mobile engagement data on the blockchain itself. As you can see right here, we are actually backed by Kinetic, TLDR, QCP, as well as Alpha Block from Indonesia. As mentioned, this is a little bit slow, sorry about that. So we want to introduce why is data important itself. Because we know that data is the new oil of the digital economy. And with that itself, there's one single problem with multiple apps that is out there, or rather they are out there. You can see that each app has incomplete data profile. You can't be telling Alibaba every single thing that you do, you'll be transacting on it on Taobao and whatnot. But you can't be telling them everything, alright? So all of these data are incomplete. So going on to the next page itself, you can see the problems that app users are facing. First of all, as app users, all of you guys, how many of you are paid using Facebook? Anyone? See, no one's raising their hands up because no one's getting paid using Facebook, right? Facebook is getting paid for you guys using Facebook. So when users are not being rewarded for the data they actually contribute to the apps itself, that's one of the problems. And of course, each of these apps, whether are you e-commerce, are you content, or are you just games itself, you are also forced to sell your data, incomplete profile which costs minimum, to centralized data intermediaries. And these data intermediaries, right, are non-transparent tracking of data contribution, they are aggregating as well as our revenue distribution. That's a small problem that we are facing. And one of the partners that we work with, they actually did sample testing of data. And some of the profiles are found in the middle of Pacific Ocean. So unless you're Robinson Crusoe in the middle of Pacific Ocean doing swiping left and right on Tinder, I don't think that's going to actually happen for you, am I right? So we'd like to introduce our solution, which is Swipe Network. It's an end-to-end solution. First of all, you can see from our Swipe SDK, for this itself, we actually allow, using our software developer kit, the developers to collect data from their app users, whether actively or passively. And one of the solutions that we actually created for this, using SDK, is because we turn the network into a B2B2C. By working with developers, we actually don't need to go through the hard process of collecting one user by one user on every single app. And of course, what is different about Swipe is this point, where we put our user consent as well as privacy management on blockchain. And this is a very unique privacy and data sharing layer that we have over here. And one of the things that you guys can take a look at after that is, well, many people are saying that they are creating multiple, they are trying to create multiple decentralized data marketplace. We don't believe in reinventing the wheel. When we say that we are building on the Origins protocol for this part. And of course, once we actually build this whole process itself, one of the key things is that once you can actually decouple, we can actually decouple our sub SDK as well as our privacy and data sharing layer. This two of it is why we call ourselves a blockchain infrastructure and not a protocol. Okay? So this two can actually be taken out, work with enterprise on its own without our decentralized data marketplace. Why is that important? Because are there a lot of Singaporeans here? I look around, there's quite a bit of Singaporeans. We know that 1.5 million of our health data is being hacked just a couple of weeks ago, including our PNB, am I right? So these are what we meant by sensitive data. Can actually be worked on our privacy and data sharing layer. Now, of course, moving forward, just a small recap before we move forward. Of our value proposition, we have privacy control, user engagement, rewards for our seller side. And for our buy side, we have auditability, complete user profile, because what we actually do is that we actually take multiple different different apps, their information, and centralize them, decentralize them, put them on decentralized ledger, and combine them on an analytic engine, which I will explain a little bit more later. And of course, the context of our content. This is the part where I want to do a little bit of explanation. Once we actually put the various apps integrated with our Swipe SDK, whether are from behavior data, demographics, interest data, we put them on a decentralized ledger. And at this point itself, data are actually encrypted, indexed, and stored. For example, we are using IPFS to store raw data, raw and encrypted data. We are using BigChain DB as well as Drizzle to actually store index data. What does that mean? It means that if everything is encrypted, how can data buyers buy your data? It can't be. So what we actually do is that we actually have meta. This meta information, right, that allows people to do their targeting. I think that's one of the key things that you guys want to take note of if you guys are concerned with data purchasing and monetization. Then we actually move on to the smart contract. With every data buyers, what they are looking for is very simple. They want to put in place a certain contract, a certain boundary, such as who do we target, how much budget are we putting in. And these are the kind of things that you want to put in the smart contract so that we can actually pay our app developers as well as user spend. Because if a user is contributing really solid 500 data points, while the other user is only contributing 50 data points, they can't be paid the same. So with this smart contract itself, it actually allows fair remuneration in that way. Then we actually went on to our analytics engine. This is one of the things I mentioned just now itself, right? Where all of this an incomplete profile are put in through this analytic engine that we put in. We call it SWOT brain later on. I'm going to share a little bit more with you guys. And from there, we actually are able to analyze this and create a complete profile. And one of the key things to take note is this is off-chain, because we right now can't find any on-chain solution that is fast enough to process the amount of data that we need to. Of course, last but not least, we actually put it onto our SWOT decentralized data marketplace for selling of it. So going a little bit deeper onto our multi-function SWOT SDK, we have our push log screen. This personalized content actually allows app developers to increase their users' engagement and retention. Of course, in-app ads, I think that is something that is quite given. We also put in SWOT mission. This is where users actually stake their tokens for customized campaign to get more premium fees in terms of when they do their surveys in stores or data collection itself. And as you can see, this tree itself is where you earn tokens, or where you actually spend the token. It's actually our marketplace. This in-app purchase with SWOT tokens is one of the key points, because how many I'm pretty sure all of you know about Tuple exchange, but can you imagine 90% of population in Indonesia, in Vietnam, how would they know about crypto exchange? They might not know about crypto exchange, and how can they actually monetize, or how can they actually use SWOT tokens? Very simple, okay? Because how many of you are playing Pokemon Go? Okay, I see some hands at the back. Pokemon Go itself, you can buy your bags, you can buy more coins, you can buy more Pokeballs. And how do you actually get that and work by working with SWOT tokens? Because all of this in-app purchase can be spent using our SWOT tokens when you are part of you interact with the content that they actually push to you, or you interact with the in-app ads. Now, of course, what's our token economy? We have our payment. We make sure that decentralized payment is fairly distributed, as we mentioned just now. Data buyers transact with SWOT tokens only. That's one of the key things that you guys can take note of. For our rewards itself, we reward contributors based on the quality and the quantity of data they actually contribute. And staking is something very, very interesting. Okay, it's because, right, once they actually put, for example, your app buyer, your data buyer or app developer, you can actually stake tokens to get priority monetization of the data within your app itself, or you get priority targeting. Okay, and of course we have our MVU released right here. So of course, this one other thing that we want to share with you, not only have we released our blog post, we also have released our privacy management API. Okay, and of course you can actually check it out. You can actually check it out on our developer.swotcrypto.com. Now, of course, you can see 4th quarter 18, we are actually going to work with our app developers to actually come up with what kind of data they are actually using. And in 2019, first quarter, we are actually going to work out with them to productize this data. I'm going to quickly move forward to what we have over here, because I'm said that we are supposed to end soon. Okay, some of our traction that we have done before is that 2016. Okay, we launched Agilus Reward in Philippines. 2017, Cepat SWOT, and in 2017 July we actually launched our SWOT crypto. And of course, in October we actually become organizers of Ethereum Indonesia. And in June we actually launched our NVU app. Of course, I'm going to quickly finish this part. Okay. So what's the key thing about this leadership team is the fact that this leadership team is mainly engineers, made out of mainly engineers itself, who has built with multi-million tenders doing telco data and healthcare data. Clifford is from IBM, Lenovo. Andrew and Kuwait is both from Singtel NCS, and Ian is actually from McKinsey. So some of our advisors, I'm very sure you guys know, Jehan, John from Kinetic, Sean Jie. We have Thomas Graham from TLTR, Joshua, who is ex-COO of Project as well as Uber, and is co-founder of QCP Capital. Darryl, who is actually advising us on our smart contracts on the tech side. And of course, the four gentlemen below themselves are rainmakers in Indonesia. We have one of the top two VCs from Indonesia, which is Alpha JWC, and he actually successfully brought some of his startup to exit with SoftBank. And if you research on these three gentlemen over here, you will find out how big a player they are in the media industry. Of course, these are some of our strategic partners. One key person that I want to bring you guys to is actually GMO Research. It's actually a listed company in Japan that is working with us. Of course, these are some of our network with 2 million users in Southeast Asia. Chapat Swipe, Agulous, as well as BlockAsia is actually owned and operated by us. These are some of our media coverage. And with that, thank you very much.
Alright, thank you, Adam, for your presentation. Now I'd like to open the floor for questions. Any of you guys have any questions for Swipe?
Anyone? Alright, we have one. Do you want to just voice out? It's easier.
So, regarding the data,
yeah.
Until a customer builds an app using on top of your platform.
Sorry, I really can't do it. Maybe the microphone's better.
So regarding the collection of data,
okay.
If the app developer does not build on the platform, how are you going to collect data? And the second question is, there's so many apps that are already there which have huge set of data, and as an app developer, if I have the data, then how can I share the data on top of the marketplace?
Okay, so to answer the first question, if you don't put our SDK onto your app, we can't collect your data because that's the SDK. You need to put it onto your data, and the users need to update so that the feature is actually embedded on the app. For the second question, can you repeat your second question again? If they already have large amount of data, right? Will they be on the platform itself? To be frank, right as of this stage, it's unlikely that you have people like Facebook, WeChat, or Google that's going to work with us, right? Because they can actually monetize their data themselves. But what about users who only have 50,000, 100, or even 200,000 users? These are just apps that can't monetize on their own because their data is not worth that much on its own. I hope that answers your question.
So my question was that there's so much data already available, and can that also be brought onto the platform, or do you see any other way of actually bringing that data on the platform?
Actually, with so much data, there is ways that you can work for that. Okay, that one, I think you have to bring it offline to explain to you a little bit more how, because we have not released that information yet. But for data that's outside them, which means that you can collect all this mobile data from the different apps. If they sign on and they work with us, sign an MOU and work with us using our SDK, yes, then we can tap on their data rather easily.
Just a quick other question. So you said initially that data is scattered across different apps, demographic data and stuff. Now, even using your platform, still, you have data scattered because I use a different login for one app and I use another login for another app. So how would you actually then figure out this data belongs to user A in app A and this data belongs to user A from app B, and how are you going to put together and bring it on?
That's right. So that structure is actually quite easy. Because as you said, right, you are using multiple apps itself. And you know that just now we did mention that we actually store raw data, so we don't really know the raw data, but there's index data to know where you are. So when all of that data actually put into SwipeBrain itself, that analytics actually comes out to the package of what people are looking for.
Then all you have is metadata. You would know someone in the age of 30 is using app A and app B, but you wouldn't know same person is using app A and app B.
I think that part, I will have to get back to you on this. Right now, I'm not too sure myself. Thank you. Sorry, I think I'll let my CPO answer this question.
We use ICFA or Google Advertising ID to find out so we use that as a key to basically track whether it's the same user using the same app. I hope that answers.
Alright, thank you. Thank you CPO and CTO from Swipe, and thank you audience for asking the question. Alright, we are halfway through all of our presentations right now. Okay, and now is bonus time. We have some bonus for all of you guys over here. It's called the airdrop. Honestly, it's my first time knowing that airdrop has another meaning other than the iPhone use. Alright, so I just learned that airdrop is basically they're dropping coins from the air. Who else doesn't know this before I said it? Oh, okay. Right, I'm the only one who know about this. Alright, so BlockAsia, one of our co-hosts, will be dropping some coins for all of you guys. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome our Santa Claus, Ralph, from BlockAsia.
Hi everyone, so I'm from BlockAsia. We'll be having a double airdrop for our BAC coins for everyone here. Kindly drop your name cards in the bowl as you exit later on. And join our Telegram group, block_Asia. If you can't remember that already, we turn it down the paper outside. And drop us a PM in the group of your name, and we'll match the name to your name card, and we'll PM you for more detail for the airdrop itself. Yeah? Great.
Thank you, Ralph. Honestly, I was very disappointed. I was hoping to see splashed by golden coins at this moment. Alright, just kidding. Alright, so now we're moving on to the second half of our presentation. So there was a disclaimer. Alright, so beginning the second half of the presentation, we have with us the Flip and Pick. So Flip and Pick is a collaborative social media for local businesses operating an ecosystem that's based in the blockchain technology, which the value generated is distributed in an equitable and decentralized manner among all active collaborators. So in a way that it kind of sounds like altruism and redistribution of wealth to me. So without further ado, let's hear from Flip and Pick.
Hello everyone, hi, my name is Ian. I'm the CEO for BlockAsia. BlockAsia is headquartered in France. We have regional offices in Montreal, in Geneva, and in Singapore. So before I explain to you why I believe so much in the system, please allow me to share a video with you. Alright, so BlockAsia is the first ecosystem that allows users to monetize from their social media engagement. I know Swat earlier mentioned about monetization of data from apps, but BlockAsia is the one that allows all users to be able to earn on the posting that they have. I think right now, a lot of us post photos of food, of businesses on Facebook and Instagram, but you don't get rewarded for it, right? Unless you are a celebrity or you are an influencer. So what BlockAsia does is that we level the playing field and we allow any users to be able to monetize from what they post on their social media. Now, for a business owner, it's very useful because now instead of having just one or two influencers, I have the whole mess, the whole reach of our social media people to help to promote my business. And a lot of times people ask me, so is BlockAsia trying to compete with like Instagram and Facebook? Well, the answer is no. In fact, we are leveraging on their very extensive reach of people. Why do I say that? Because whenever you post or business post on our app, users can actually share that post outside of the app to Facebook, to Instagram, to WeChat. So we are really leveraging on a very established and extensive network of social media users. Right, so the reason why we founded BlockAsia is because there is a gap in the current market, especially for the small local businesses. They don't have the budget or the know-how to do effective digital marketing, even for business owners to market on Facebook as a business account. That can be quite expensive as well. And of course, the second issue is right now, the marketing done on social media is not collaborative. As I mentioned earlier, only a few people get to be paid to promote businesses, and we want to change that. So here comes the ecosystem for BitTemple, where for users, businesses, and ambassadors. We already an app that's downloaded on the Apple Store or iTunes or Google Play, and we are on the Stellar blockchain. For those of you that are not familiar with the Stellar, it's actually ranked recently in May 2018 by China as the number 6 blockchain in the world. So let me go on to explain further on the ecosystem. Like I mentioned, for users, whenever they share a post or content about businesses, they get rewarded. They get rewarded with what we call flip merit points. The points can be used within the ecosystem to exchange for like promotions or to partake in the games and bonuses. The users can also choose to accumulate points and change it to tokens, which can be traded on the currency exchange markets, and they get fiat or they get other currencies in return. Now, for businesses, it's also free for them to be part of the ecosystem. What is free, we are also a digital marketing company, and if you want to pay for more premium services, then they pay us a monthly fee, and that's how people earn our money, that's our revenue model. And then there's this third category called ambassadors. Ambassadors are basically more active users. So in order to be an ambassador, user will deposit 500 tokens with us, and they will get to post more posts about the businesses, and in return, they get paid 20% of whatever their merchant pays us for marketing services. So in a way, this sums up the ecosystem. The users get paid if they post about the businesses, and ambassadors get paid more. For those of you that are not familiar with the area of the industry of digital marketing, okay, there are about 100 million market out there, and the potential annual average market revenue is about $1 trillion US. Alright, so for BitTemple, when we do our calculation on our fundamentals, we are only aiming for 0.0325% of the market penetration, with a lower than average business spending, because using our collaborative ecosystem, our pitch to businesses is that if you use us to do marketing, it will be cheaper than what they are paying right now. So based on the 3,000 euros versus 3,700 euros, and our potential revenue for BitTemple is really 975 million euros. And the reason why I want to share this is because while we are doing an ICO and while we are a fintech company, we also believe that running a business with strong fundamentals is very important. And earlier I mentioned that we are a marketing company and businesses will pay us a monthly fee for premium services. So this is a list of the premium services that they pay us. For example, if you want to have a featured product listing, you want to launch a bonus, or you want to have links in marketplace, or they want to do like a special VR program, that's where they pay us, and this is how we earn. Now let's touch on the fundamentals of the company. So our net present value of the big company is 96 million euros, and this is the fact based on this growth, a very conservative growth of the company, starting with only 7,730 merchants in 2019. This figure is important because later I will show you that right now the ecosystem is growing much faster than expected. So with this growth and the 3,000 euros average annual spending per merchant, the net present value of the company is already 96 million euros. Now, of course, when we run ICOs, we are issuing tokens, and I think for investors or for users, it's important to know why are they buying the token and what is the actual value or the intrinsic value of the token itself. So which is why I provide this slide. Okay, because I mentioned earlier that 20% of whatever the merchant spends goes to the ambassador and or the users who become ambassador. Based on this calculation, the net present value of each token is 0.25 euros. Okay, if you need more calculation details, you can call me. But this is very important because our ICO price per token is only at 0.10. So you are buying at 40% of the intrinsic value of our token. So let me explain to you what is the users of the FNE token, right? Number one, like I say, when users share and post on businesses, they get merit points which can be converted to tokens and be traded. Right, but at the same time, if businesses and users want to purchase services on our BitTemple ecosystem, instead of using cash and they pay with token, they get 15% more bonus in terms of services. Right, so there's a demand for merchants and users to use tokens to pay for services instead of cash. At the same time, like I say, users who want to be more active can become ambassadors and get 20% of the spending made by the merchant in our ecosystem. And lastly, the token will be traded on the cryptocurrency exchanges. Now, I want to explain to you, well, I think we know that in last year, I think 80% of the ICO tokens, they sort of crashed after it was listed, right? So for us, I mentioned earlier, mathematics is really about fundamentals and the strength of the business, and therefore really the strength of the token. So I want to take some time to explain why we think that there's a sustained demand for the token, and which is what supports the token price in the first place. Number one, like I said, our ICO price is 40% of the NPV of the token, only at 0.10 euros. Number two and number three, there's a demand by merchants and users to use the token or to buy the token and to use it because they get 15% bonus if they pay for services with our NFT tokens. Thirdly, to be ambassadors, users must freeze 500 tokens. So if more people believe that being an ambassador is a strong revenue model or strong business for them, more and more people will want to be an ambassador, and they will have to buy the tokens of the ambassador, and the purchase of the token will be demand for the token itself. And at this point, okay, for users, they hold a minimum amount of FNB tokens in their wallet. We also bring them as like interest tokens. This is to reward them for holding the tokens. And FNB tokens will only be released in exchange for the value created. Total, we have 1 billion tokens that we issued, but they will not be all dumped at the same time. It will be issued in tandem with the growth of the ecosystem. So in this way, it supports the strength of the token as well. Let's go dump everything at one shot. Lastly, the point, FinTech, which is the parent company of BitTemple, will be IPO end of the year. In fact, we're already talking to NYSE and LSE, so it's something that will happen either by end of the year or by early 2019. And the IPO will provide very positive impact on the ecosystem and the token. I will not touch further on IPOs. If you guys want to know more about it, please tell me after this. Alright, so this is the ICO details. The target is 20 million euros. Well, it's euros because it's a French company, right? It's important. So like I say, our price is 0.10 per token, but NPV is 0.25. This is the roadmap for FNB. So right now in 2017, okay, the main focus is actually to launch the app and to get more users and merchants on board. Okay, I just want to touch on the fact that right now we already have more than 5,000 businesses and more than 6,000 users on the app itself. We can download the app, you can see it, right? And then for phase 2, we're going to implement the cryptocurrency POS for all our merchants. I think we're all here because we believe that cryptocurrency is the way to go. So why not allow our merchants to accept it as a part of payment? Of course, for phase 3 is about big data because if the company grows, ecosystem grows, they will be able to utilize the data for business intelligence and then repackage that back to the merchants to improve the customer experience. Okay, some updates again. So right now, this week we are having a campaign in London. We will bring on board more than 3,000 local businesses as well as hopefully 80,000 users. In early July, we have concluded 2 partnerships with 5 fashion groups from Singapore, Presidium in Indonesia. They will allow us to penetrate the Asian markets. Total, they will bring on board more than 120,000 merchants. This one is very exciting. Italian, which is the app developer for Facebook, the iFrame apps. We just signed a partnership with them 2 years ago. They will bring on board more than 500,000 merchants, global merchants on the app itself. We're also negotiating a partnership to bring on board 10 to 20 million users in the next 6 months. Alright, so if you can see this, well, the whole summary is actually flip and take and flip tech is actually ahead of our forecast. My net present value of 96 million euros and 0.25 euros per token was based on the slow growth of 7,700 merchants in 2019. But we have already much exceeded the forecast right now, and it's only August of 2018. Right, so I think the value that I mentioned earlier is actually an understatement, and we should be able to break that. Last but not least, we will be listed on the exchange in Korea and in Russia by end August. I will not say the name because right now we are still signing the MOU, but we will be listed by end August. And as of today, this morning, we have raised 2.5 million USD in our private sale. Alright, let's not see this Henry Harlan, the CEO for the private company BitTemple. He has IPO more than 6 companies. His own company is on NASDAQ, it's Neptune Technologies, and is valued at more than 800 million USD. So he's the one that will bring the company for IPO. So there's no worry about IPO not happening. So as he says, IPO is a walk in the park for him. Alright, so lastly, okay, so as of 30th July until August, we are running a campaign where we're opening the private sale to the public. Okay, the whole intent is to allow any user to take part in the public sale and enjoy the real bonus. So in that particular campaign, which ends on 3rd August, users who partake in the public private sale can get up to 100% bonus. If you are private investors, today in the past, we offer a 50% bonus for investors, but during this week of the campaign, we are prepared to talk further with private investors. So for any private investors out there, there's a team to come aboard this talking after this. For all retail investors and users, please take this chance to partake in our campaign which ends in August because we can really get up to 100% bonus, right? So otherwise, that's it. Right, thank you so much.
Alright, thank you. Thank you, the pitch and the offer. Alright, do we have any questions from? Okay, I'll pass the mic on.
Hi, be nice.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Assuming I'm a user and I share a business photo every day of the year, how much money am I actually making?
Also, it depends, right? I mean, every action has a different point system. If you like to post, you get a certain point. If you share it within the ad, you get a certain point. If you share it outside of the ad, you get more points. So for that, it has to be very specific to the specific action.
I share within the ad.
Alright, so I would say that right now, the maximum amount of points that a user can get per day is about 1,700 FNP credits.
What is the monetary value?
Alright, so right now we are still determining the conversion ratio. So as of now, based on the 0.10 token price, the conversion ratio is 100. So with 1,700 points, you can get 17 tokens for now, which can be traded on the transaction. Do you think that
€2?
Yes, for now, yes, for now. But because right now our aim is actually launching the app and getting more users on board, the tokenization and the conversion ratio is still not fixed. That's still under fixed later. Okay. Alright, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for the presentation. Okay, coming up next, we have a company that's called Volatile Cycle. And this company claims themselves to be the Tesla in the recycling industry. That's a very bold claim, and we're looking forward to hearing from you guys. So what they will be introducing today is the Bitcoin network, where it's a protocol to introduce decentralization and IoT for bike sharing. So without further ado, we'll welcome Bitcoin.
May I ask everyone here, anyone familiar with blockchain, ride bicycle, and also using the sharing mobility services like Oppo, Lyft? Can you raise your hand, please? Great. So today we have two individuals going to be the top 3 topics we're going to talk about, teach about our project. Right? So my name is Juan, my head of business development at Bitcoin Network. We believe that bike sharing protocol is a game changer. We believe that we can make this service available, accessible for 50 million users in 3 years down the line. And what kind of platform that can grow exponentially, profitably, and sustainably like that? Well, we decentralize, we create a platform, we create a decentralized protocol to let anyone to launch the bike sharing service within just a few weeks away. Right? So, ladies and gentlemen, the total market size of bike sharing in the whole worldwide is 300 million. Is $5 billion generated by 300 million users. Out of which 90% is based in China. So the question now is how the bike sharing company can capture that opportunity and have a sustainable growth in the future. Unfortunately, a centralized platform is not an answer. Okay? A centralized system is not an answer because it lacks network effects, constrained by technology, advanced, and huge costs behind. yeah, so many behind. Is it inefficient and unscalable to launch a bike-sharing a service in a new city? As they have to replicate the whole value chain to finding a new partner, a new supplier, and users. So centralized data database also face danger of data misuse and theft. But on top of that, the centralized system create a monopoly kind of giant tech like Uber who control all the data from the user. So negative social impact from theft and vandalism are commonplace, leaving a huge cost for the company and for the society. Besides a low price infrastructure, it restricts the evolution of the biotechnology with a limited technology choice. So consequently, a promising form of sustainable transport becomes a concern for a lot of government parties and along with the communities. So there are four actors in the demonstration here. So bike supplier who want to provide bikes for the rental market, fleet operators who could be the companies, local shop and entrepreneurs, and the retail service provider here like the hotel or working space, and company who want to rent a fleet to offer bike sharing services to their users. So our job as a protocol is to digitalize the physical bikes and make them tokenized assets, and with their own crypto wallet. So the rider pay the money in the form of cryptocurrency straight into the bike wallet, and then the revenue will be distributed to different stakeholders through their smart contract seamlessly. However, the beauty of this is all for participants don't need to trust in each other, but simply rely on the blockchain to handle the transaction. As a result, it will cut out the intermediaries, save costs or time for everyone. But the beauty of the protocol just yet stops there. For us to be successful, any service that connects to our protocol will have a few opportunities to access to an open text stack and an open text network effect, so that even a single bike owner operating for herself, it can connect to the platform through the protocol, and anyone can find the offer from her is attractive, and the bike is available in the personality. Then could be equally the profits her bikes can be equally discovered in one single market. As you can see, our ecosystem includes two layers here. So application layers, including all the apps for bike sharing services, for bike registration as well. And it is backed by a strong protocol layer. That's including peer-to-peer storage, privacy engine, zero-knowledge group. So blockchain technology is the backbone of our project, with some of the highlight features such as proof of stake consensus for high transaction throughout. Ethereum soft code base provides an easy for the apps using Solidity for developers. Peer-to-peer storage layer using IPFS to store immutable data. Privacy technology like zero-knowledge proof and end-to-end encrypting data to address the need of the data confidentially for merchants as well as user data privacy. We also released built-in SDK and firmware library for developers and mobility manufacturers to design their own decentralized products and services. All of these technology, when working together, we create a foundation to scale up the business seamlessly and even beyond the bike industry. Our ambition is to provide a decentralized sharing protocol for urban mobility, enabling all participants to develop their own shared mobility services. We want to start from the niche, get our goal in bike sharing industry first, and find out, start with a stepping stone to get into the order of vehicles. It could be peer-to-peer sharing of this service for eco-scooter or the autonomous service for cars, and user can even fractionally own and invest their fleet into the network. The use cases are endless. To ensure the intrinsic value of our token, we created demand and supply circulation in the network as follows. So on the top you can see user who use our token to pay for the transaction fee. Sorry, user who which are end user or company who use our token to purchase services or intensify the community. On the left hand side, we have developers who use our token to pay for the transaction fee, and we charge 10% on the transaction fee for that. And the last one is the user who hold and pledge the token in order to partake in the validation and be rewarded on doing so. So our colleague is from Volatile Cycle, a biotech company based in San Francisco. So we already launched the bike when we got like pre-order revenue of $1 million USD. Our CEO, Fabrizio, he has a strong experience in project management. He managed handling funding of US government project with the Department of Energy and NASA. Eric is our blockchain architect who is lead from the electrified ICO project, and he has strong exposure to Vietnam development, Vietnam blockchain developer community, and has been a technical blockchain advisor for different projects both in Singapore and Vietnam. We are launching a token cell to fund development of blockchain ICO project with 800 million tokens being issued, out of which 75% is reserved for the community, including 50% of the token cell and 50% for pre-defined tokens, and 10% of community group. Our fundraising is targeted 20 million USD, while the medium target is 5 million USD. We are in the private stage right now, giving up 25% for us and for early backers of the project. And we are also offer some kind of strategic partnership and give up 50% of strategy to the strategic partner to NBD within August. So Bibox team is passionate about sustainable transport. So I strongly believe that sustainable transport is the driver for sustainable development. So why not join us today, whether you are an advisor, investor, or cycling enthusiast? Drop me an email and we can talk. Thank you.
Okay, thank you from Volatile Cycle Bitcoin Network for presenting the Bitcoin Network. So do we have any question from the floor, from the audience for the Bitcoin Network? Alright, so I guess that's it. So thank you again for your presentation with Pitch. Alright, so right now we've already completed 7 projects and we have 2 more to go, just 2 more projects to go for this evening. And we would like to remind all our friends again to give a little bit of respect and a little bit of space for all our presenters today. So coming up next one, we have on my right hand side where it says Mood Token. It's in fact a company called Unati. So the beginning of this program, I went to talk to the company and said, why do you guys have a cow on your logo? Is that what do you guys sell? What are you guys doing? What has cow to do with blockchain? So without further ado, I pass the time on to the CEO of Neview Holdings to share with us.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Hello. I know it's been a long night, yeah? I was supposed to come on earlier, but technical difficulties, I'm on now. But at least I'm here. Yeah, so good evening, everyone. Can I have all of your attention, please? Yeah? It's the project that we are doing. I'm from Unati, so welcome to Unati's investment opportunity briefing. What you see is the three-dimensional image of the farm that we've actually got in a place called Javali in India. We are doing a blockchain in the dairy space. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Works. Should work. Hang on. Why is it not working now? It was working just now. Okay. Technology. Yeah. Okay, technology. How are you guys doing? Good? Are you tired? Tired of hearing all these things? A lot of technology presentations are already very dry. Very dry. They talk a lot about technology and all that. I promise you, I'm not going to be talking a lot about that. Yeah? If you are technologically inclined, want to find out more about the details of the blockchain and all that we're doing, you are free to approach us And then if you find this project interesting, we'll tell you. Our technology partner is also here. Okay. Let's go. Okay, this is where we start. Come on. Okay. Okay, a bit of a background before I go into what the company is doing and all that. This is taken from the World Economic Forum. Okay, it's about food security. How many of you are concerned about food security? How many of you are concerned about food security? If you are not, you should be, because that's going to be one of the biggest problems. The two things, the two products, if you ever go into and you make tons of money, one is on food, the other one is on water. Okay, this is from World Economic Forum. Why it matters? By 2050, the world is going to feed about 9 billion people. Okay, and the demand for food will be 60% greater than what it is today. Okay. It's going to put a lot of strain on all the resources that we have. The UN has set a record as the second of its 17 Sustainable Development Goals is that we want to end hunger, achieve food security and improve nutrition and promote sustainable agriculture. Okay. And how it can do that is it has to make the agriculture sectors, they have to become more productive by adopting efficient business model and forging public-private partnerships. Agriculture needs to become sustainable by addressing greenhouse gas emissions, water use and waste management. And this is exactly what our project Unnati, when we are setting up in Delhi, we tackle all of these issues. Okay? If you don't do that, otherwise the world will risk malnutrition, hunger and even conflict. All of you are in blockchain, you're wondering what is this about. Blockchain is also another way of trying to make sure the world functions a bit more efficiently. That we all know what exactly we are eating and where it's from and whether it's done properly or not. The causes of this, basically, I don't want to go too much into detail as to what are the causes for these food security issues. Population growth, changing taste, climate change, water scarcity and decline. I can send you the report if you guys want. Just give us your information and drop me an email. I'll send you the World Economic Forum report. In India, as an example, agriculture accounts for 18% of the economy's output and 47% of its workforce. Yet, 194 million Indians are undernourished, and the largest number of hungry people in any single country is from India. 194 million people. That's a disaster. Okay? 15.2% of the population in India are too malnourished to lead a normal life. 50% of all the children in the world who are undernourished are from India. These are big problems, big issues. The solution requires improvements in the productivity of the agriculture sector. Agriculture must also be sustainable, and there must also be proper waste management, because you don't want to end up polluting this world at the end of the day. Okay, that's where we are at. With that background, let me just tell you that we at Unnati are implementing systems and processes that tackle all these three observations made by the UN World Economic Forum. Okay, within the dairy sector, that's what we are focusing on. Why the dairy sector? Because the dairy sector is besieged with a lot of problems. There is actually a severe lack of good quality milk that is available for developing countries in this region. Okay. A typical dairy farm looks like this. One look at this picture, you know there are a lot of problems. Okay, they are primarily systemic. So I'm going to go through it very fast. Yeah, one, there's contamination right from source. The way it is stored, the way it is transported, the way it is collected or collated, the way it's processed, and finally the way it's delivered to the customer. Everything leads to a problem. This is not what you get in a first world country, but this is what you get in all the developing countries in this region. This is not a problem that is what you call only in the continent of India. It is in all of the Asia Pacific region, in all the developing economies. In a nutshell, there are four main issues. There's actually a basic disconnect between milk production and processing. There's a lack of or rather non-existent cold chain infrastructure, lack of quality and proper quality control processes, and then there are custody chain challenges. All of this can actually be addressed by having a blockchain logistics supply management system. Okay, the result of all of this disconnect is there's a poor quality milk, which is literally not fit for human consumption. Okay, by any Western standard. Okay, it's not related to India, as I said earlier. Most developing countries have this problem. We have a solution which is actually currently being developed in this farm. So as it stands, this farm is actually in a place called Solapur. It's somewhere in Maharashtra. If you want, you Google or you come and see us, we'll tell you exactly where it is. In Google Map, you can actually see some of our infrastructure. So we are not just at the planning stage, we've actually implemented quite a lot of stuff into the infrastructure. Okay, the management team, I don't want to go too much into that now because I'm short of time. It's basically the brainchild of this man. His name is Vijay Kulkarni, and he has been slaving on this project for the past 20 years. For the past 5.5 years, we have been putting a lot of money and developing this. So we are at a stage where we are ready to implement and roll out our Merc, and we are now adding the blockchain component to the whole system. Okay, those are all the infrastructure that's already there on site. It is not a stock picture. We've already invested more than 8.5 billion. This is the reason why when you're doing this ICO, there's no soft cap in this ICO. It's an integrated farm to fix solution, where right from the way how the cows are handled, what they are fed, what kind of water they are fed, everything is taken care of, right down to packaging and delivering it. It's like a glass to glass solution. Okay, that's the only way we're going to control the quality of milk. And it lends itself to allow blockchain to come in and create a immutable record, so that at the hands of the consumer is able to just scan the milk packet and find out exactly where the milk came from and what went into it or who handled it. Okay. Yeah, so from a simple thing, I mean, and on a basic level, we can have the consumer scanning the QR code and retrieving all the information that he wants here, and therefore giving him the power to make the decision whether he wants to buy that milk or not. Okay. Why dairy? Because of aging population, rising obesity levels, increase in research linking diet to health and all that, the demand for dairy is actually going up a lot. Okay, it is in the past 10 years, it has gone up over 36%. Okay, if you go a bit more detail, if you look in there, just the 3 boxes there, India alone, the increase in liquid milk equivalent consumption of it is 120%. In Southeast Asia and Asia, it's also a huge chunk of 46.9 and 57.3%. So demand for dairy in this region is actually huge. Okay, if I want to put it in a nutshell, it was about 336 billion in 2014, and it's going to be about 442 billion by 2019. If anytime you want to invest into anything, you want to invest in a sector which is growing, and this is a kind of growth that's practically unbeatable. Okay, Asia Pacific region will actually make up 63% of this growth. We are smack in that area where this bulk of this growth is going to be happening. That's a tremendous opportunity. In India alone, it is a $120 billion market. If you look at the number, you should scrutinize it a bit more closely. The whole world's market is 442 billion, but India alone is about 150 billion, which is more than 33%. That's huge. Okay, and we find the growing big because we've already got opportunities. We've got expressions of interest from Myanmar, from Bangladesh, from Thailand, from Malaysia and Indonesia to want to set up similar kind of farms. Okay, if you just look at India alone, as I told you earlier, just the sector where we are operating in Maharashtra, just if I were to take 4 main cities, not even the whole state, just the cities alone, the consumption in these cities per day is about 9.7 million liters of milk per day. Even if I set up 5 farms, and if you were doing properly, we will be producing about 50,000 liters per day per farm. Total about 250,000 liters. It is still a drop in the ocean. Okay, so the demand for the milk that we are going to be producing is very high, and as a result, the demand for the tokens that we have, that we are rolling out in the whole complete ecosystem, the demand is going to be high, and you've got to work out whether the price will go up or not. Okay. The dairy potential closer to home is also similar. You all know that in Malaysia is actually 95% division in dairy. 95% of the domestic milk consumption, they have to import it from somewhere else. Yeah. So Malaysia is ranked number 10. Why am I showing you all those statistics? Basically just to impress upon you that the demand is also huge in this region, and that's where we come in. Because after India, we also want to set up farms in Malaysia, Indonesia, and the rest of the region, as I showed you earlier. Okay. Now, Indonesia itself is also about only producing about 25% of its milk consumption. So there's a whole lot of growth waiting to happen. Okay. Now that's the kind of numbers we're talking about. In any industry, if you're growing at about 8 or 16% per year, compound annual growth rate, that's huge. Right? Am I right? That's pretty huge. That's the kind of industry you want to be in. And we are poised right there. Because the Western world is the one which is actually doing this work in this level at this particular moment. And nobody is doing it in this region. Why invest with us? Because partly for the first farm itself, there's no construction risk at the moment. We are almost 90% complete. All we need is a little bit more to put the money in, buy the cows and produce the milk. And with that, we'll also be rolling out the rest of the infrastructure for the coin, for onboarding merchants and all of that. This all infrastructure is already there. Okay? We are also, when you invest in something, you also want to be proud of your investment. Alright? You want to be proud of the investment. So we focus a lot on saving this earth. That's one of the reasons why we are there. Because we want to produce good quality milk and make it available to the people of this region. And together with that, one of the biggest complaints against dairy farm is that it is environmentally unfriendly, there's too much of methane and all that. Which is the reason why we have adopted a complete integration of this project. Because we not only have an upstream integration of looking after the dairy, the milk, the packaging and everything, but we also focus on how to use the manure to produce power, to produce methane gas, to produce biofertilizer. In fact, we are actually aiming to be a zero carbon emission project. Okay, there's a complete integration. Our utility token system, the token, there's a lot of utility that we will have. Some of them are that you'll be able to purchase cows as part of the investment. And in the future, when we are planning for our ICO, which might happen within the next 5 years, you can also use the tokens to purchase our shares, our pre-IPO shares, at very, very attractive prices. Okay? We have also developed a Move app. Our technology partners are here. They are from a company called SQ2. They use something called Aura platform, which is a very interesting platform, blockchain platform, which we believe will help us power out our apps. Okay? The app will have several functions, but besides that, the most important one is, of course, about this thing called a witnessing function, where with the distributed server technology, anyone who downloads our app, which all of you can do by the end of today, you just have to scan. We've got an iOS and an Android app. If you scan it, we'll reward you some tokens. Keep it there, because when we start rolling out the ecosystem, where you can use the token to buy, you will be rewarded. Because every app that sits in your phone becomes a mining app. Okay, unlike the internet blockchain where the more usage there is, it slows down the transaction. In this system, the more apps that are there out there, the more stable the transaction becomes, and it's much more faster. Okay, let me quickly get on to what else we're doing. As we said, there's a strong social responsibility element in this project. Okay, besides making sure that we provide good quality milk and changing the whole dairy industry and infrastructure, we are also looking towards donating a portion of our milk to the needy. As I told you earlier, more than 50% of the malnourished children in the world actually are located in India. And what we have made as our goal to start with is to donate at least 1,000 liters of milk per day in every area or every location that we are located. And 1,000 liters per day will actually feed about 5,000 children. That's a lot. So when you come with us, you will also be able to participate in that. Okay. What we have is we are looking to raise about $39 million. Majority of this is to fund our token ecosystem and all that. About $6 million will go towards completing the existing farm, and the rest of it is about marketing and onboarding merchants and getting the app into consumers' hands. Okay. We have got a little bit of bonus structure at the moment. Today, if any one of you is interested, if you sign up with us and all, we'll give you a 20% on top of this bonus. Okay, 20% more. Instead of 5%, you'll get 6%. Instead of 50%, you'll get 60%. We are in our crowd sale period at the moment. If all of you can, if you are interested or if you want to find out more, if you give us your information and give us an expression of interest or something, we will put you in and we'll give you under the airdrop. But you can do one better than that. You can actually download our app, and when you download and then connect with us, send us the app ID and all that, we will actually do an airdrop of tokens into your app. Okay? I think over there you can sit down and chat and give us your ID ask all the questions that you need, and you can watch how the app actually works. Okay? With that,
Cycle bit. The cycle over here is not referring to bicycle, unfortunately. It's not a sharing economy because we had a bike sharing presentation other day. So the cycle over here, it actually means the cycle, that complete round cycle of the Bitcoin. So over here at the cycle bit, what they're doing is making the cryptocurrency transaction easy to do. And they have with them a machine that's, I would say, is pretty wicked in a way, and I was totally blown away when I saw it. So without further ado, I would like to pass the stage on to Pavel from Cycle Bit.
Hi, my name is Pavel. I'm founder of Cycle Bit.
Okay, so we have a little bit of hiccup over here because instead of the last project, we have the second last project presenting to us. And for the second last project, as you guys can see from the slides over here, is imagine turning the ocean and sea wave to electricity. So it's something to do with clean environment. So we have a beautiful lady over here, and I'll now pass the stage on to her to present to us what her technology and company is about.
Hi, my name is Yincubator. I'm the co-founder of the EcoWave Power. Our company developed a unique technology for generation of clean electricity from ocean and sea waves. So I will start with a short 2-minute video so you can see how it works, and then we'll explain. Thank you.
Going up and down with the hydro cylinders, they're taking oil from the tank and they're pushing it into the accumulators. The accumulators are partly filled with oil and partly filled with nitrogen. This mixture of the two creates pressure. The pressure is very, very strong, and it can run from 50 bar in low waves to 160 bar in high waves. That pressure is used to turn the hydro motor, and these hydro motors are turning the generator. And most importantly, this is the system that is responsible for transmitting reliable clean electricity to the electrical grid of Bibox.
We attach to different structures of the here, and it's really easy to maintain. We don't need any fibers, we don't need any bolts. We don't actually, even though we're a wave energy company, we don't even need to touch the water.
So when the waves are too high for the system to handle, the floaters automatically either go up above the water level, or in some of our systems in the world, submerge under the water level, and then protect them in the storm vessels.
We need to move away from fossil fuels, and the world is not going to move away from fossil fuels until we figure out that we can actually make it less expensive than fossil fuels, that's easier to maintain, and that we can actually make money and create jobs.
The first wave energy plant, the first renewable wave energy plant connected to the electricity grid anywhere in Europe spring into action.
Gibraltar is pioneering here. It is the first European territory, the first jurisdiction, the first nation in Europe to have wave power harnessed and connected to its electricity grid.
This is a wonderful day for Gibraltar. We are leading the world in this type of technology. We are investing in this type of technology because we feel we have a responsibility for the future of the planet.
Okay, so all of you could see how the technology is working, but let's go a little bit backwards and understand why wave energy. So first of all, 2/3 of the world population are currently living on the coastline. With this type of population distribution, the need for wave energy is inevitable. In addition, wave energy can produce electricity around the clock, as opposed to solar energy, which can produce only during the day, because when the sun sets, you cannot produce any electricity, and wind energy, which is dominant mainly only in the morning or late at night, wave energy can be produced 24/7 in the suitable locations. Also, the density of water is 1,000 times greater than the density of air, meaning that you can produce much larger electricity amounts for much smaller prices. According to the World Energy Council, wave energy can actually produce twice the amount of electricity that the world produces today. In terms of market value, it is valued at $1 trillion worldwide. So how does the technology work? As we saw, the technology is very simple and very easy. We basically connect to existing man-made structures like breakwaters, piers, platforms, any types of structures that are available in each and every country. The floaters are designed uniquely by eco-wave power to absorb optimally the power in the waves. They're going up and down with the movement of the waves, pushing the hydro cylinder, which is transmitting biodegradable oil into land-located accumulators. The pressure that is being created is then used to turn a hydro motor, turn a generator, and send clean electricity into the grid. What's good about the technology is, one, that it is very cost efficient. The price of construction is only $1 million per 1 megawatt, which is comparable to the price of solar and is actually lower than the price of wind. It's very reliable. We can produce around the clock in suitable location, and we also have a storm protection mechanism that actually, when the waves are too high for the system to handle, the floaters automatically lift above the water level and stay in the upward position until the storm passes. It is fully insurable. We currently operate 2 power stations, one in Israel and one in Gibraltar, and they're fully insured by large-scale reputable insurance companies. And it's 100% environmentally friendly. We do not connect to the ocean floor, we only connect to man-made existing structures. So in terms of project pipeline, the company currently holds 130 megawatts in its project pipeline. We currently have orders from the government of Gibraltar, from Israel, China, Mexico, UK, Scotland, and other locations. All our orders have lands that the company owns, and also we have PPA, power purchase agreements, that the company signed with the local governments, which makes it a very low-risk project because it's with Western developed governments. So what is the connection to blockchain? So H.Capital Power is currently a member of the Climate Change Coalition of the United Nations. And the United Nations actually recommend to use blockchain for support of green financing, for decentralization of the energy, and for monitoring and reporting and building trust among the members. And this is exactly what we intend to do. We intend to raise funds in order to fund our ready-to-build projects, in order to monitor and report to our token holders exactly how much energy is produced from each power station and how much revenues are produced in real time. And when the power station starts generating electricity, we will also enable the token holders to trade electricity and clean certificates among them. So, H.Capital Power is basically issuing the first tokenized security in the wave energy field. The name of our coin is EcoWave Coin. You can visit our website, ecowavecoin.com. There is actually a great connection between blockchain and renewable energy, because blockchain definitely needs renewable energy for activities like mining, which are taking a lot of electricity and causing a lot of pollution. And the renewable energy really needs the advantages of blockchain in order to create more transparency and more reliability, and to be able to tell people in real time what are the amounts of electricity that are produced. Now, another advantage of our specific coin is basically that we're planning to make it infinite. What does it mean? The coin value will not be limited only to the power stations that we will be funding through the token. We basically plan to reinvest the revenues from the electricity sale in additional power stations, which means that whereas the token number will never change, the amount of assets that are attributed to such tokens will grow, which will create a growth in the token value. So basically, the EcoWave coin token holders will be making history by helping the commercialization of wave energy, but also, of course, making money and creating jobs in the renewable energy sphere. So here again is our website, ecowavecoin.com. For me, it's important to mention that at the moment, the highest risk in the ICOs and the STOs that are existent are three risks. One, there are many companies that are created for the purpose of the ICO. And that's not necessarily a good idea because those companies, you don't know the team, you don't know the track record. EcoWave Power is existent since 2011. We have a very positive reputation, you can check on us online. Another problem in the ICO world is basically that many companies, they say, okay, give us the money and then we will develop the product. In this case, the entrepreneurs behind EcoWave Power invested their own money. So my partner actually invested his own money in the development of the products, of the patents portfolio, and the power station is already operating both in Israel and in Gibraltar. And the third risk in the ICO is that some companies have technology but don't have orders. So in our case, we already have orders with government, lands that the company is holding. So basically right now we're just raising the fund to purely construct the power station. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Alright, thank you, EcoWave Power. It's definitely refreshing to see a coin that's in the sustainable energy industry. It's very refreshing and it's kind of good to have it. It's great to see. Alright, so as promised, the last project. Alright, once again, we're excited there. So we're talking about the wicked technology that makes cryptocurrency payments easier shopping to live in store. Alright, so now pass the time on to Tuple.
I'm back. I don't do this anything on the of you because our idea is very simple. We want to make all the currency transactions as simple as to go into shopping in convenience. Which means we have already existing devices which connected over 200,000 shops and we spend over $1 billion US a year. As I told before, the platform is already existing. CycleBit will be used with existing platforms with additional services. One of my friends told me that good idea is to realize good idea. The biggest problem which startups usually have is execution of the project. We have one experienced team with already success stories, which will be also involved in this CycleBit project. Go back to the problem which we will solve. The first problem is the owner of cryptocurrency cannot use it. And the second problem is the people who want to be owners of cryptocurrency, they find the way to want it very complicated. With CycleBit, you can solve both these problems. That means we bring cryptocurrency payments to retail to make it an easy way. We have two possibilities how we bring our service to the retail. So the big chain, like for example 7-Eleven, we will provide our SDK and which supporting all existing POS systems. And the people, for the merchant who doesn't have existing POS system, we offer our own omni-channel platform, which can solve offline and online. Go back. Okay. For the running the platform, we need a token. Or claim, please use the K. This will be the K for our system. We will use it like a guess for transactions, and the merchant who selling the cryptocurrency will get commission in our community. So we see this big opportunity for the market because we have solution for the merchant, for the customer, and for the developer.
Alright, thank you. So if you guys want to buy some coin right now, we have a weekend machine that actually looks like have any of you guys used Alipay before? You know that scanning where you scan the QR code. So this is the same machine that does the same thing. So
can accept card payments and also QR payments.
Right, so if any of you guys are feeling lucky today and you want to buy some coins off this machine, you can approach Pavel over here. Alright, so with that, that will be the end of today's pitch. And thank you all once again for coming and joining us for today. And we hope all of you guys have gained something from here. From now on until about 10 o'clock, you can feel free to roll around and talk to anyone you want to talk to. And we hope to see you again next month at our BitTemple Pitch Day. Alright, wish you guys a good evening. Thank you.
Yeah.